Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Okay, do that again. Thank you for that. So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Chassidus in the morning. 15 minutes to change your life. Look at the Sichos, Chelek Aleph, Pashas Vayetzei. Just a quick story before we start. That when I was a bacher, I went to yeshiva in America for a little bit, and I had a friend of mine that he was engaged, and he needed a shomer for a week before his chasna to go do things, buy things, and he wanted someone to come with him. And for me, this was like sort of like a chance. I remember speaking to the mashpim in yeshiva. One of them didn't want me to go. He was like, "Oh, you're so good, you're learning, and you're going to go there." And the other one was like, another mashpim said to me, funny, there's my colleague, he said, "Yeah, whatever, you want to go, you can go." My thought was two things. One was, I wanted to see, I'd been in yeshiva for a good, maybe 6 months, whatever it was, 5 months. I wanted to see how much it actually impacted me. How much did it change me? How much, put myself to the test. And I also wanted to have a chance to go around and see America. I hadn't seen much of America. And it was very interesting results, to say the least. I remember I went to my friend's place and he had TV going on. And I was like, I don't do it myself. I didn't know how to integrate my yeshiva experience into my life. Now we're going to learn about this in this week's parsha. Beautiful parsha and beautiful chassidus to be learned. Okay, Parsha Vayetzei. Parsha Shavuot Pesachas. This week's parsha begins with Vayetzei Yaakov Be'er-Sheva V'yelech Haran. Yaakov, he leaves from Be'er-Sheva and he goes to Haran. Now, Kan Pirish Rashi here, like Rashi explains, Chazra al Siyum HaParsha. He goes back to the end of last week's parsha, Akedemus. Yeah, so Rashi saying that it's like connected with last week's parsha. I tell you, yesh mashmos lakol. Now, an axiom that we have to remind ourselves, and the Rebbe says this a lot, that in the Torah, everything is there's reasoning behind everything. There's value to everything. It's not just dumb. So afilu me'os museres nulmedes halachos shleimo. Even with one little extra letter, we learn full halachos. Kol shekein she'inyan shalim shenishna mispa pa'amim, for sure, something that is talked about many times. V'vayde mashma hira l'deres. Sure, there's a lesson for generations. V'chol zman v'chol makam, every time and every place. V'af l'zmanenu zeh, even to our time. Shekein ha'Torah nischas v'Torah is eternal. It's everything that you read in the Torah. It's a lesson for all places and all times. And this is a very important axiom. We're not learning a history book, like we've said in other sichos, but it's a book of lessons for life. Torah Milashon Hira. So let's see. So obviously, what's this whole story got to do with us? So the shame Be'er-Sheva, the Torah says in regards to Be'er-Sheva, Shnei Nimukim. Two ideas. One is Biglal. Why is it called Sheva, Be'er-Sheva? One is Biglal Hashavua, Shahisa, B'Kristus, Abris, Shebein, Avimelech, Avram. One reason it's called Be'er-Sheva is because of the Shavua, because of the pact that Avimelech made Avram. And the second reason is Mishum Be'er Hashivis, Shnechvara, La'acha, Shalim, Im Avimelech. The second explanation of what does mean Be'er-Sheva is a seventh well that was made after the pact with Avimelech and Avram. Now, Shtei Hatamim Mevatim Matzav Shol Shalva B'Yisrael. Now, these two reasonings, either one, they're showing on something good. They're showing on a good time period for the Jewish people. Shalva, peace, harmony. Now, what happens in Pasha? When he goes to Haran, what's Haran? Haran is the exact opposite of this. As the rabbis say, Haran af shel elam. It's like the worst place in the world. So it's like two extremes. You have Be'er-Sheva, which is Shavua, or the seven wells. Life is good, and then you go to Haran. You go down to the dumps. Haran is the worst place in the world. Most clippidic place, the worst. It's like the Vegas. Not even nowadays. There's so many Yidden in Vegas. There's so many shuls and then base measures and good things happening in Vegas. But whatever. We know what we mean, and that's Haran. So yesh makshim. There's people that ask, HaKadosh Baruch Hu nas lanu Torah mitzvos. Hashem gave us Torah mitzvos miyadam le'harchava, from his big and open hand. Hashem gave us Torah mitzvos. Im kol pina shanu peinim yeshnam mitzvos aseh vanpim. We are lucky enough that every single moment and every single way we turn, an opportunity to do another mitzvah, or to withstand an avera, or one of the 365 negative commandments and its offshoots. Seemingly Hashem can do us a little bit of a favor. The pacha is l'salek mitanu as a daigos, to get rid of our worries. Daigos galus, daigos parnasa, worries about galus or parnasa. In order kedei lahakas al kiyom mitzvos, make it a little bit easier for us to do Torah mitzvos. Torah mitzvos is a full-time job. So we have Torah mitzvos, and we have to worry about parnasa, we have our kids, and I think we can all relate to this so much. There's so much going on in our lives, especially when you get married and you have kids. It's like, I don't know, a second to breathe. And if you don't do Torah mitzvos properly, it's a full-time seminary just to do Torah mitzvos. If you don't do it properly, and then we have to go to work, and we have to try to get shidduchim, and it's just like, it's too much. Yeah, even more than this, also make it easy. You don't have any issues, any discussion with the world. In order to stay better with the 10th of Torah. You want us to Torah mitzvahs, so let us be in seminary. Why is it so hard? You make all these issues we have to do. We have to go to work. We have to figure ourselves out. We have to figure out life. And then when you get married, suddenly you realize you don't know yourself at all, and you have to figure out how you're going to make parnas and how you're going to your kids. And you have kids. Every kid has that. You have to deal with the kids' issues, and then you have this, and it's crazy. It's a crazy lifestyle we live. And you want us to do Torah mitzvahs, so it's fine. And we also want to do Torah mitzvahs, but it's time for us to do Torah mitzvahs and to do all these things and have to deal with the world and all these issues and pay taxes and this and figure out how to save some money and all these things and shidduchim and the list goes on what we have to do. So why does Hashem not make it a little easier for us? Hashem, do us a favor. According to this is what the Torah tells us as Darach Yaakov. What is Yaakov? Yaakov is the archetype of how to be successful. And what happens to Yaakov? Lema. Derech Yisrael b'tarasam, the way of the Yid, in their purity, in the purest sense, the purest form, as we are to ourselves, like the ultimate. Like Avram, not like Avram, they had Yishmael. Like Yitzchak, he's not Yitzchak, he had Esau. Yaakov says, Mitas Hashem was a complete bed, means all of these children, all 12, tzaddikim. Unfortunately, Avram had 2 kids, one good, one not so good. Yitzchak also, 50-50. Yaakov and Esau not so good. Even though Esau and Yishmael, they did tshuva, but it's a windy path for them. Whereas Yaakov, everyone from now to is good. Now, what do we find about Yaakov? What's so interesting about this? Before he actually had kids, where was he? He was in Be'er Sheva. B'makim shel gilui lekus b'muchash. Boy miskablos mitzvos b'nakol. There he had mitzvos easily done. V'averos b'kashin. To do an aveira was difficult. Yaakov lived in a life. Be'er Sheva was good. It was easy. It was seminary. It was yeshiva. To do mitzvahs is easy. To do aveiros was hard. But when he came to building a Jewish house, where did he have to go? To build the Jewish family, he has to go to the place that conceals godliness. He goes out of the yeshiva, which is interesting. Gam olam levadhu b'shmoim lashon halem. It never says not just has to go into the world, which Eilam comes from the language of Helem, which is concealment, but even more than this, he has to go not just a world which is concealment, out of the yeshiva. I heard a speaker once, Norman Vavicha. He said, when you leave yeshiva, That's the end of you. You're done. And it was very shocking to me to hear this, because what does he mean? So what, people are going to stay in Shiva their lives? And whatever. Unfortunately, he doesn't get to learn Chassidus. He doesn't understand a little bit of the world and the reality. But what happens? Yaakov, and he didn't learn the Chumash properly. But Yaakov, he comes to Haran, and that's where he starts to build his house. He leaves the yeshiva, leaves the good environment where Lakus and Torah mitzvos is easy and doing a race is hard. And he goes to a place where doing not just out of that environment, which is difficult, but he goes to the environment that it's Haran, Avshalmak, when there was some places where it's easy to do Averis and it's hard to do mitzvahs. Maka and boy Averis, Miskablis, Bekalus, Mitzvahs, Bekushi Harav. To do Averis is easy, to do mitzvahs is difficult. Specifically because he withstood the tests, that withstood the challenge of being in Haran, there he builds the Jewish house, and it's perfect. It's wild. It's against what we want and what we think. We want to be in the perfect environment, be in the shtetl and everything go good. Oh, we see here, Yaakov, the most successful of the Avos, builds the most successful children of the Avos, builds them in the worst of circumstances. Wild. This is the lesson for all of us. And this is the challenge that we don't like to hear, but this is the reality. Even though, he's saying, only through us having challenges, and we overcome the challenges, we withstand them, he makes the Jewish house a house that is shining and warm. And this is sort of the thing we don't like to hear, but this is the reality. The reality is the tests and trial and tribulations of life will bring out the best in us. And that's sort of what will bring out the best. And what we see by Yaakov, it's specifically his success. The Rebbe is tying it, not just happened to be he was successful having a mitzvos shlema, all good kids, because it happened to be that he was destined. It didn't happen to be that he was in Haran. The Rebbe is saying it's specifically because he was in Haran, because he was in these bad circumstances, he had this. And I think, I don't know if I shared this. I was speaking to my brother about this a little bit, how to get like the best success in learning, and this is sort of against the typical schooling system, but it's challenging. And when you challenge yourself, either you challenge yourself or you've been given inborn challenges that helps you achieve. And this is sort of what we're saying. We're saying life, when we have challenges in life, we say to ourselves, I speak for myself, and I think a few of us also say this, we don't want challenges. I wish it wasn't a challenge. I wish life was easy. But life is easy is meaningless. It doesn't have challenge. And the way I explain to my kids is like, let's say you play a game, whatever it is, play a sports game. You play basketball, let's say. Let's say you play basketball. And, you look at yourself, you don't know much about basketball, and you see, you want to have fun. So if I want to have fun, why do I have 5 guys or 5 girls against me on another team? Why do I have to bounce the ball all the time? That slows me down. And why is the ring so small in comparison to the ball? Make a big ring, small ball, don't have to bounce it. And the ring is so high, you can't even reach it. Make it down here. Now, of course, the reason why it's done that way is to make it exciting and interesting. And sort of so too. In life, this is how it is. Without the challenge, without the push, not that we ask for challenges. We ask that we shouldn't have challenges, but just the natural tendency of life and having kids and raising them, and making parnasa and trying to find a shidduch, that itself is already, it's nisyonis enough. But we have to realize that they're not coming to put us down, they're coming to make us mitzvos shlema, coming to complete us. And really, when we're able to learn from these challenges and learn and to grow from them and build from them, that's the ultimate success we can have. And if we don't have these things, we don't really achieve. It's like we say, specifically about tshuva, I reached a higher level than a tzaddik. The tzaddik, he doesn't have these challenges. And the challenges are what make us who we are in a positive sense. And if we look carefully, we're able to notice how the challenges are what helped us really achieve. So I give everyone a bracha that they should be able to look at their challenges in the right lights. Not that we want challenges, but if we have them already, is that what to learn from, and it should help us achieve greatness, and we should recognize that as well. It's very important not just to say, oh, I had a challenge, but like recognize the challenge helped me get to where we are. And I'll tell you from my own personal experience, I had plenty of challenges in life, and Baruch Hashem, I'm very happy, and I see, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to see how those challenges has helped me get where I am. Mitzvah Hashem even further. Have an amazing, amazing day.